According to the Library of Congress, Puerto Rico has been a U.S. possession for nearly a century, and its people have been U.S. citizens since 1917. I highlight this fact because of the recent presidential order that wanted to remove the birthright citizenship, which has quickly been deemed unconstitutional by several federal courts. As a Puerto Rican born with an American citizenship, it's good to know that my citizenship can't be taken away so quickly by the government. But it made me curious. What would I lose if the worst did happen and I lost my citizenship today? And how do my rights compare to the rights of other Americans born inside of the United States? I'll be informing you about the many rights and duties given to a person under United States citizenship, how Puerto Ricans first received this citizenship in their history, and how our given U.S. citizenship has sparked constant migration from Puerto Rico into the United States. Firstly, I have to explain what rights are given a U.S. citizen under most circumstances. Being a citizen of the United States comes with many rights and civil duties that are meant to work together in the betterment of the country. Some of the most notable liberties given to us include freedom of expression, freedom to worship as they wish, and freedom to a right, prompt, and fair trial. And other freedoms include being able to vote for elected officials in a public office, as well as being able to apply for elected office yourself. Along with many other rights, a United States citizen has the freedom to travel across all 50 states without the need for a passport, making it much easier to move and migrate. As well as the rights given to us through our U.S. citizenship, there are also several civil duties that we are obligated to. These include being obligated to pay income taxes to federal offices, as well as being obligated to be invited to jury at a trial. Above all other duties, United States citizens are obligated to be drafted into the military if the need arises to defend the country. Notably, the responsibility of draft is essential to how Puerto Ricans first received American citizenship. In fact, the United States first gave us American citizenship because of their need for troops in the Spanish-American War. Thankfully, we Puerto Ricans share all the same rights and duties as any other American. However, the main reason we were given citizenship is because of the inherent obligation to be drafted into the military. And that meant that Puerto Rican men were obligated to help the Americans fight against the Spanish. Under the Jones-Shafroth Act of 1917, signed by President Woodrow Wilson, the United States first gave Puerto Ricans their U.S. citizenship in order to help them fight against the Spanish. Puerto Rico maintains its own government, but ultimately, as a U.S. territory, it is obligated to follow the same federal laws as any other state. Puerto Ricans are required to own a private residency inside of the United States before being allowed to vote for any elected officials. For example, no one in Puerto Rico will be voting for the next United States president. But despite our many freedoms, the main liberty that Puerto Ricans have used most of all is the freedom to travel. U.S. citizenship has allowed Puerto Ricans to move and migrate and establish communities in America during times of economic instability. With a U.S. citizenship comes the freedom to travel across the entire country without the need for a passport. And this has helped Puerto Ricans in many times of hardship and poor market. This is evident in the first migrations of Puerto Ricans into the United States, before we were even given citizenship, when the Spanish were forced to give away the islands of Cuba and Puerto Rico to the United States. During the Great Depression of the 1930s and 1940s, Puerto Ricans migrated into the States in search of work and money, just like many other Americans did. Similarly, with the Great Recession of 2008, when another major surge of migrations happened all around the world, especially in Puerto Rico, when people were in search of stability. These migrations left hundreds of diaspora communities in their wake. Diaspora being a term that defines a population that is spread across many different places away from their mainland, just like Puerto Ricans are. And these diaspora communities freely celebrate their Puerto Rican heritage as one of the many rights exhibited from their U.S. citizenship. I've discussed the freedoms and duties given to a person under U.S. citizenship, how Puerto Ricans first received these freedoms in their history, and how the U.S. citizenship has allowed us to freely move and migrate in times of hardship and economic instability. And I'll leave you with a closing thought as well. As someone who migrated from Puerto Rico young, living in the States for so many years has given me a fond appreciation of both lands. And I hope that the constant migration of Puerto Ricans into America enriches United States culture for many years to come.